Robert Ray is with us, federal prosecutor. Robert, you heard what he just said, and this is the discussion point that we want to get your take on. That one aide, that one investigator that was on the Hillary Clinton email investigation was political. He didn't like Trump. He was sending anti-Trump texts to his friends, colleagues, and now he's reassigned. He's in the HR department. Well,
which everybody can agree you shouldn't do. I mean, I suppose we all have political views. The mistake is voicing them and making them public, and certainly in text messages, you know, that's a bad idea. Why is it a bad idea? Because it undermines public confidence in the fairness of the investigation. Now, you know, let's not overstate it either. It's one FBI agent now. He had I think a significant role, but ultimately, with regard to the Mueller investigation, Mueller's the one who makes the decisions, not FBI agents.
Yeah, but it's all wrapped up in all of these other things that happened at that time. Loretta Lynch advising Jim Comey, call this investigation a matter. Don't call it an investigation. Meanwhile, it is a criminal investigation. And then the interview on the tarmac, they talked about grandkids. I mean, a lot of just stuff that should not be going on if you're talking about doing a truthful investigation.
Well, that's why you have to act quickly. I mean, I'm sure that Bob Mueller understands, and his actions reflect that he does understand how damaging that can be, and that's why you have to take action and remove somebody from the investigation. It's unfortunate. You know, look, in the Michael Flynn investigation, I just heard the president's comments. And understandably, he's, you know, comparing and contrasting what happened to Michael Flynn versus what happened.
Right. Is that a fair comparison?
Well,
he said Michael Flynn's life is ruined, and Hillary Clinton lied, and she's okay.
Well, you know, Hillary Clinton had the benefit of counsel. She appeared for an FBI interview at the very end of the investigation, and many of her answers were in the, you know, the neighborhood of I don't recall, I don't remember. You know, unfortunately,
well, was it even on the record? I mean, there was no notes about it.
Anytime you talk to the FBI, it's on the record. It doesn't have to be under oath, as Michael Flynn has found out.
Found out the hard way.
Is a federal crime.
It's a federal crime. It is. You do not have to be under oath.
Correct.
It carries the same penalty as perjury. Martha Stewart went to jail, went to prison for lying to federal investigators.
And Michael Flynn pled guilty to that.
What about knowing when someone lied to? And that was what that last question that was shouted at the president was all about. Judge Napolitano was on with us earlier and said he thought, with his now infamous tweet over the weekend, president saying had to fire General Flynn because he lied to the vice president and the FBI, that he did open himself up to an obstruction of justice investigation.
For the life of me, don't understand what that point is about. I mean, I have to say, you know, and take any company in America. If an employee doesn't cooperate with a lawful law enforcement investigation, and moreover lies during that investigation, what are you supposed to do? You fire the person.
Right.
That's what the president did. So what's the argument that somehow by firing him?
Well, I guess their argument is it gives them motive to go ahead with the firing of Comey afterwards.
Well, but the likes of Dianne Feinstein and even Mark Warner, they've been looking for a reason to start talking about obstruction of justice charges.
And I don't see it.
And so,
you know, look, for the life of me, I don't get it. I mean, I don't say how that possibly adds up. What would you prefer? You would rather have him still employed as the head of NSA? I mean, you know, seriously. And then
once he lied to the vice president, and the vice president went out and talked about what he said. I mean, it was wrong.
And he gave him the chance.
I think the issue that Connell was talking about is this suggestion that he knew that he had lied to the FBI
because he said FBI as well as vice president.
I don't think there really was any question about that from before. Remember now, the reason that we know Michael Flynn lied, unbeknownst to Michael Flynn at the time, was that his conversations were being intercepted.
Right.
And so therefore they knew, I mean, the White House knew, Sally Yates knew, Sally Yates brought it to the attention of the White House counsel that the Department of Justice knew for certainty that he lied because the conversations were recorded.
Brings up a larger question: why did he lie? Wouldn't you think someone like General Flynn would have suspected that as well? With his, his background?
Two things. Apparently, no. He apparently figured or didn't realize that his conversations were being recorded. And second, 4 days after the inauguration, I, for the life of me, don't understand why he'd go to an FBI interview without a lawyer present. Yep. So, you know, and that's what happens. You know, as we discussed at the outset, lying to FBI agents is bad. It's a federal felony.
So what's your take? Give us the bottom line on this investigation as you see it today. Where does this stand? Because on Friday there was a lot of misreporting, which of course sent the market lower, and then ABC had to come out and clarify. And
then the market figured it out and recognized that there's really a whole lot of, you know, non-story here. It's significant that he's cooperating with the investigation. You can't minimize the significance of that. On the other hand, if, for a cooperating witness to plead guilty, the general drill is the government charges you with everything that they've got. They don't want to be put in a position later on where, he's going to cooperate and testify against somebody else with regard to, for example, a conspiracy that he doesn't plead guilty to. So what I thought was notable out of all of this is they charged him with a false statement. They did not charge him with conspiracy to violate the Logan Act.
Right.
Didn't charge him with anything else. Suggests to me that whatever else may be going on, they don't have it yet.
Right.
And the it is collusion.
Yeah.
And collusion, again, in my mind, is limited to only one thing. That is, Russian officials would have to be in a situation negotiating with members of the transition team or the campaign where this is what we will do for you
right.
in exchange for this is what the administration will do for us when they take office.
And if it was there, it would have been leaked already a long time
and if
ago.
it was there, it would have already been leaked.
and
if Michael Flynn had it, he'd have pleaded guilty to it.
We're still talking about this. It's incredible. Robert, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Robert Ray.